So in today's video, we are going to see how to change background color smoothly while scrolling our page. Because depending upon the content of your next section, you want to give it a different color so that it give you a better feel to your design. This is how it's going to look like. When I'm scrolling, you can see the background colors changing smoothly. Similarly, if you scroll up, you can see it's maintaining the previous section color. So for this, we are going to use ScrollTrigger from Gsap, and for smooth scrollbar, we are using a library called smooth scrollbar. So let's see how can we achieve this. Since our focus is ScrollTrigger and Gsap, we are not going to focus on Tailwind CSS or the styling part of it. I have already added the content which we are going to use, and these are basically different sections which contain different layout, and output of our current code is this. As I mentioned earlier, it's just a number of sections with different layouts. So the next thing is, in each section we have to add different color for the background and different text color. This is where we are going to add as data-bg color with a dark color and data-text color with a white color. Similarly, we can add data for second section, third section, fourth section, and last fifth section. And the next thing is all the import which we need, and they are Gsap, then ScrollTrigger, which is from this particular path, and then we have a scroll bar from smooth scroll bar, and then we also have to register our scroll bar with Gsap. So gsap.register plugin scroll bar. So the next thing which we are going to do is we are going to use our use effect. Then we are going to initialize our scroll bar, and we are fetching our main class name, which is our main scroller, and assigning it to the scroll bar. Then we have a couple of options. First is damping. So using damping gives you a slight inertia to your scroll. Next is always show track. If you want to show your scroll bar always, just set it to true. And the next up is speed, which is set to 3. So the next thing is we have to let our scroll trigger know which is our default scroller. So in our case, main container is our default scroller. Otherwise, it will take body as a default scroller, which is definitely a wrong thing in our case, right? So what we have to do is scroller.main, which is our class. So now to link our scroll trigger with our scroll bar, we are going to use scroll trigger scroll proxy, which is the entire code is this, which I just copied from the main website. And this is just a way to connect scroll trigger with scroll bar. And just after this, we are going to add an event listener on scroll bar, which will update our scroll trigger every time you move your scroll bar. So the next thing is we are going to get all our sections which contain data-bg color. As you remember, we added background color in each sections. So we are going to fetch in this way, which will return in the form of array and will store it in section color. Now they are in an array. So what we are going to do is we are going to loop it in this way. Color section is our each sections and I is the index of each sections. So now we are going to store previous section color in this way. So what we are doing is if the index is 0, that means we are still on the first section, which means it does not have a previous section, right? So what we are going to do is nothing. But if we are on second section, so it does have a previous section, which is first, we are going to store the color value of first section in previous BG color. So the most obvious direction for scroll is downward. So that's why we are maintaining the previous section color, but you can do it either way. And similarly, now we are storing also the text color of previous sections. Now to use this value, we are going to create scroll trigger using scrollTrigger.create. And for trigger, in our case, every section is a trigger. And for scroller, we have main, which is our main scroller. So next is start, which is when our color section top hits the 50% of our main scroller, it should start. There are two things. First is when you enter a section and when you leave a section. So when you enter a section, it's called on enter. In this, we are going to write gsap.to, then our main container, which is our main scroller. Then we are going to assign the background color of upcoming section and also the text color, and we are setting override to auto. When you set override to auto, so Gsap automatically handle the conflict between multiple tweens of a same property of same target at a same time. So you won't face any issues. So the next step is on leave back, which is when you are scrolling upward and leaving the current section. So in this also we are going to do the same thing. Gsap.to our main container, but this time the background color is previous background color and the color is previous text color, and override to auto, and then we hit save. Now let's see the result. So now when I scroll down, you can see the color is changing smoothly, and as we are on second section, that means we are maintaining the background color and text color of previous section. That means when I scroll up, it will maintain the previous section color and text color. When you are scrolling downward, that means you are entering on enter in ScrollTrigger. When you are scrolling upward, that means you are entering in on leave back in ScrollTrigger. I'll add a link of this repo in description, which will be of a specific branch which contain all the code in a single file, so you won't face any issue while finding the code.